Hello, everyone, and welcome to finally Big Ten play. We have been waiting all season for it. I'm Sydney Supple. This is Sydney's Spin, where we break down the Big Ten. Now, let's wrap up the preseason non-conference games. There was 11 total ranked wins throughout all of the Big Ten teams. It was a three-way tie for first place. You had Northwestern with 2, Minnesota with 2, and Michigan with 2. 2 of them being against Florida, actually. A little bit of a fun fact. But I want to break down quickly before we bring in our special guest the matchups that we are going to see in opening weekend of the Big Ten. Now, starting off with probably the most hyped matchup throughout the entire conference is Penn State, who is 20-6. They're going to face Indiana, who is 22-6. Those two teams have the most wins right now in the conference. And this is going to be a tough battle, especially between both teams' aces. You have Bridget Nemeth, who is 10-0 so far in the season. She's going to be facing Brianna Copeland, who has a 1.62 ERA. She's 11-4 on the season. She's also hitting 372, so she can do it both ways. Definitely a matchup that everyone is going to be curious and excited to see who can come out on top. And now you have Michigan. They also had 2 ranked wins. They beat Illinois this past weekend. They went 3-1 on the weekend. They are going to go and face Purdue. You have Illinois, who went 3-1. They had a close game to Michigan. They played Louisville yesterday. They looked pretty well. Their pitching staff is definitely starting to click. They will go to Nebraska, who is hosting the series. And Billy Andrews right now for the Huskers is absolutely on fire. She's hitting 439 with 11 home runs. Then you have Iowa, who is going to face Wisconsin. Minnesota is going to Maryland. Ohio State will face Rutgers. And then we will have Michigan State, who will be headed down to Evanston. And it only makes sense to bring on Northwestern's ace right now this season. She was just named Big Ten Pitcher of the Week for the second time. Ashley Miller, thank you so much for coming on today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, I thank you because I know your time is very limited right now. You guys have an insane week. It is right now spring break in Evanston. So you guys spent it playing 4 games in South Carolina. You had a game yesterday against DePaul. You faced UIC today. And then, you have like one kind of offish day. And then you have another 3-game series. Kind of how are you feeling with all these games right now?
I think it's awesome. Spring break is really a time that you get to get a lot of games in. And I think it's perfect for our team going into Big Ten play. We're really clicking as a team and, working out some of those, little glitches we had in the earlier in the season. So I think it's just perfect timing for us to get all these games and then head right into Big Ten play.
You talk about kind of the magic that's starting to unfold with the team clicking. What do you feel like was that difference maker? Was it certain people stepping up, kind of like a team meeting? What turned it around?
That's a tough thing to put my finger on, but our team has faced a lot of adversity this year. We've had a lot of close losses, and just in general, we've faced a lot of, odd adversity. So I think us really powering through that and getting tougher from that has really helped us, as well as, we're learning from our mistakes. So we do have a young team this year, and as long as we keep learning from those mistakes and, helping that to help us in the future, I think that that's really helping us click. And it's really showed. Last weekend, we had 2 really big ranked wins and then another against Minnesota. So I think that it's just helping us keep rolling onto the Big Ten play.
I want to talk about those 2 wins because you guys captured your first 2 ranked wins of the season. The first one against Boston, and then it was a thriller between South Carolina where they started to make a little bit of momentum at the end, but you ultimately were able to slam the door. Kind of talk to me about those 2 games. What was the game plan going in? Did you feel like it was well executed?
Yeah, of course. So, going into a big ranked win, or big ranked games, that you have to be on your A game. And so I could tell the focus of the entire team was just there. And that really meant it all going into the games. And as the games go on, you just have to keep it going, keep the momentum going when you have it, especially for the South Carolina game. It was a night game on a Sunday. We were tired. It was our 4th game of the weekend, but we just had to be tough and power through. And I think that that's something our coaching staff did a great job with us. And they prepare us for that moment. That's what we practice for all season. And so that really just is an attribute to how tough our team is and how we can come through adversity.
You kind of closed up the last big stretch of crazy travel. You guys have been going for 5, 6 weekends, taking a plane all the way to West Coast, down south, wherever you needed to go. And sometimes with that, I feel like also comes a lot of team chemistry. Especially you are a graduate transfer player, so you're still new to this team. Talk to me a little bit about kind of were you able to bond, you felt like, on the road? Were there some fun activity guys you were able to do off the field?
Yeah, absolutely. I think traveling just brings the team closer and closer. You're spending, days on end with each other. I think that right now we're going to be on a 13-day streak that we're going to be seeing each other every day. And so that definitely helps just everything as a team. You're going to go through tough times and great times together. And I think that that's just super fun. So specifically last week in South Carolina, we had some morning games. We had some off time in the afternoon where we walked around the town and got dinner and lunch together, as well as just saw the sights. So I think that that's super cool. And more specifically, to share a little story about when we went to California for the Mary Nutter tournament, we actually had a flat tire on our bus. And so it was before our Sunday game, and we were like, hey, we got a flat tire. We got to deal with it. What are we going to do? And I think it just allowed our team to become even closer and say, we can get through these tough things, and we're going to have a great time while doing it.
So how did you problem solve? Did you guys walk? Did you take separate cars?
So we were waiting for another bus. They called another bus, but it was a little bit late. So we all kind of got in separate cars. My parents actually drove me to the field, but the bus ultimately came, and we all got there with like 20 minutes before the game. So it was okay. We just showed and goed, and it worked out.
I actually love that. And your parents are probably like, this is so fun. I never thought I would be able to drive you to a game again.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I can just picture like Carol's probably like heart rate going up
Yes.
before the game and all of that. Well, like I mentioned, you are new to this program, and I want to really dive in. How has this transition come? Because from an outsider perspective, I watched how you came in the fall and winter, and it felt so seamlessly. Kind of what made it so easy?
I think that all goes to the returners on the team and the coaches. As soon as I stepped on campus, they immediately welcomed me with open arms, and it was just easy for me to be myself. And whenever that comes about, it helps the transition go straight from there. So, they instantly were like, "Hey, you're part of us now. You're one of us, and you're on our team." So there was no like hate or anything going from a former competing team. So I think that was just the biggest thing. They just instantly put me on their back and helped me through everything throughout the fall. And when you build that trust in the fall, everything comes in the spring super easily. So I know them now. They're my teammates. They're my girls. So it's just helped all the way.
Did you feel like there was ever that moment where you kind of looked around and you were like, I belong. This is my team?
Definitely. I think multiple times in the fall, it's tough coming in as a transfer, and especially I'm the only transfer on the team this year. It's like, do I belong? Where's my spot? Who are going to be my people? But I definitely saw it throughout our fall games and throughout the fall, like, hey, like this is where I'm supposed to be now. This is my home, and you just have to accept it and move forward. And that's the end of the story, Like I'm one of them now. I'm a cat, so it's just the way it is now.
You mentioned certain players and coaches. Is there really anyone that really stuck out to you? Like you feel like kind of took you under your wing, made sure you felt like you belonged at all times?
I would definitely say some of the upperclassmen, like Angela Zedak, Hannah Katie, Lauren Boyd, and Cami Henry. They all upperclassmen, and they were like, hey, you're an upperclassman too, but you're instantly one of us, like you're going to be a leader, you're going to be a key player, so you're going to become one of us as well. So definitely huge shout out to them, and they just made me feel at home instantly.
So tell me a little bit about how have you liked now living in Evanston? You went from East Lansing to Evanston. You're close to the city. You're also now in a new school program that has you driving into Chicago all the time, which has to be a whole new experience with the traffic and everything. Kind of how have you liked the life adjustment outside of softball?
Yeah, it's been a huge adjustment going from a small college town in East Lansing to, the big city in Evanston and Chicago as well. But I really liked it. It's a lot different. It's something I haven't really experienced before, but it was something that I really wanted to experience. So I think that it's super cool that I do get a different perspective and a different experience. And it's just something new, It's not different or it's not bad or super great. It's just different. And I like it as well. So it's definitely expanding my comfort zone, but in a good way. I think I'm really growing as a person, and that's always a good thing.
Tell me a little bit about this team. You mentioned that they are on the younger side. Specifically, I look at kind of your battery pack, your catcher, Emma Ray. She's a first year player. You wouldn't know it from watching how she
Mhm.
catches, but kind of
Mhm.
how have, you who has a lot of experience and other people really helped, bring these first year players up to speed and make them feel confident on the field?
Yeah, of course. I can't say enough good things about our freshmen. They've come in with great energy and great excitement, and they're just ready to work. So I think that that makes it super easy for us upperclassmen to kind of lead the way and steer them the way that we want this team to go. But they bring the energy, and I think that that's the coolest thing ever. We have so much fun, and we're always laughing, but it's really an exciting team, and I think that our potential is endless. So I can't say enough good things about them.
So, what are the conversations that you feel like are happening almost kind of behind the scenes that have really made a difference in your team? You talked a little bit about those tough times in the beginning. With tough times come tough conversations too, because feel like you have this endless potential as a team, but you have to find a way to kind of unlock that too.
Yeah, of course. And we'll talk about it after a hard loss. We just have to make adjustments a little bit quicker, and we have to be a little bit tougher in those tough games, really. And so you see a lot of close losses, and that's just like one little thing here and one little thing there, and just our attention to detail. So working on cleaning up those little mistakes and knowing that we're right there. And I think that that gives us a lot of confidence as well, knowing that, hey, if we can just clean up a few things here and there and the momentum shifts here and there, we're right on that game. And I think that that gives us a lot of confidence going into Big Ten as well, considering that a lot of our close losses like that were against ranked teams and in tough situations. So, they are tough conversations, but it's really like we just need to be a little bit better.
Yeah. You guys had a post that I've been so curious and waiting to ask you or someone. You posted a picture of a softball that said connection on it. Tell me about that story.
Yeah, of course. So I believe it was when we were in Auburn. Yeah, we'd lost 2 games in a row. We lost to North Texas and Auburn. And that evening, we're like, hey, we're having a big team meeting. And so uh, Coach Kate, she gave us 4 words that we wanted us to each highlight. And so each group had a different word. And one of the words was connection. And we basically had to, explain our word and give a little presentation to the rest of the group. And if we can capitalize on these 4 words, we're really going to be a really tough team to beat. So that one was one of them. And we have a connection ball now. So it's like we're going to be connected with everyone on the team. And if we're connected like that, we're going to have an instantly better way to get through those tough times and make those adjustments and everything. So having that connection ball is just a reminder to all of us that hey, we're going to be a great teammate to the woman next to us, but we're also going to be like a great teammate to ourselves as well.
I love that. I'm curious, what were the other, if you can remember, kind of three that you guys also chose?
I think that one of them was courageous, like being courageous.
Mhm.
Another one was problem solving. And then I believe the last one was, oh no, I don't know.
3 out of 4,
But
you're batting pretty well, I'd say.
yeah, but as long as we can, capitalize on those things and become a better unison team, then we'll be able to win those close ball games and really do tough things. And that's the most fun part about softball, like getting through those tough times together and ultimately, having a gritty win. Like my favorite win of the whole season has been this past Sunday's win against South Carolina. And it wasn't because I had my best game. I had a really tough game, but our team came together and we won as a team. And it was a tough time, and those tough times made it the most rewarding thing. So I think that our team is really, tapped into that as well. And that just makes it so much more fun.
Talk to me a little bit about yourself right now and playing, because you are off to a tremendous start. You lead the Big Ten in so many categories, pitching wise, because you're just so efficient on the mound. Where have you seen yourself grow even in this year from the previous three?
Yeah, I really just see myself as a new person, you know? I've grown so much since I've gotten here, but the biggest thing I tell myself all the time is, trust myself and trust my teammates. And if
Yes.
I can trust myself to, throw through the zone and throw my stuff, it's going to be tough on the hitter, but if I can really trust my teammates as well, we're going to have a great time of winning pretty much every game. So, and that's a big thing too. Like if I can trust my teammates have my back on the defense, which I totally do, it gives me more confidence to throw that tough pitch and to throw through the zone and attack that hitter because I know that they have my back. And that's really been the coolest thing ever. And it's given me so much joy out there playing on the field. And I think that it's been really cool to just see how I can do, just go out there and play free. And it's been super fulfilling.
Throwing it through the zone with confidence, like you just mentioned, I can hear Michelle Gascoigne Smith's like words as you're saying that because that is something she preaches. How has it been being one of her pitchers? She's the pitching coach at Northwestern. And how much do you feel like you guys have connected and that's also elevated your game?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal working with Michelle. She's so easy to work with, but she's so knowledgeable about the game. And so she's really elevated my game throughout the fall. And when I came in, she was like, "Look, you have a good foundation, you have a good base. I'm not going to change a lot, but I'm going to help you get a lot better." And instantly from there, I was like, I'm just going to let her take the wheel. And I think that it's helped all the way. And I can't say enough great things about the way she's led our pitching staff and really helped shape me into the best pitcher, person, and leader I can be. So it's been super fun.
One thing that I know that she is kind of queen for is coming up with these, mini competitions between the pitchers. Has there been any that you've really loved? I mean, there's like, gosh, I can think of tic tac toe. She does like a horse version. So many fun ones.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we've really played Hangman a lot recently, so it's been
Okay.
fun. We've been having some tough words, but Hangman's really fun. Also, recently we've been having some timed competitions, so you have to hit a certain amount of spots with different pitches in a certain set of time, and then we'll all be ranked based off our times pitching wise. But she just keeps it fun in the bullpen, and it's really easy to get repetitive when you're just in there throwing every day, but I can't say enough good things about how she's helped us keep it fresh and fun, and especially as a big pitching staff. So I think that that's just super cool that we're all different in our own ways, but she helps elevate and highlight that in the best way possible.
All I can say is about Hangman is I hope you're not playing against Lauren Boyd because she's so good at guessing words I don't understand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to know what would you say is the biggest lesson you have learned from Michelle?
Hmm. I think the biggest lesson is just to go out there and play it with your all. Play with passion and have no fear. If they're going to beat you, they're going to beat you at your best. And that's just been something I've been hanging my hat on all year. And that's really what I've been needing to hear. And having that in my ear all year has just been helping me propel me to my full potential.
I love that. You have mentioned that this is a larger pitching staff. You really have three, first year arms. We've seen a lot of great things from Riley already. Renee pitched well, with Cammie Henry. Talk to me about kind of just the camaraderie between the pitching staff.
I think it's so awesome. We're like a mini team within the team, but I think it's great that we all have super different looks and we're super unique in our own realm, that it just helps us feed off each other. Like, hey, if I'm having a tough day with my changeup, I'll talk to Renee or I'll talk to, Michelle and see how they can help me. And I think that everyone feeds off each other and that just helps us get better in general. And so as well as having Michelle, like she's one of us pitchers as well. She pitched all her 4 years and still pitching now. So she's part of our team as well. And I just think it's a super cool thing how we can work together to really elevate our game in every way.
So now we are heading into Big Ten play. And before we get into the matchup this weekend, I kind of want to use your experience to talk about it almost feels like the camaraderie between the conference. You are a native to the Big Ten. You played 3 seasons at Michigan State. Do you feel like this is kind of the biggest open playing field for anyone coming into Big Ten play to, work their way to the top?
I think it is. I think the conference is wide open this year, and there's really a lot of question marks all over the conference. And I think that's going to make it one of the most fun seasons that I'll ever play. And I don't know. I just think it's going to be a super competitive year, and I can see, I can already foresee like the close games and the close wins, and I'm just really excited for it. I can't say how much I'm looking forward to it.
Big Ten play, there is nothing like it. Even despite the cold games that are in future, at the J, at other Big Ten complexes, but there really is something special about it. And you kind of have a special opportunity this weekend. You are facing your previous school that you did graduate from, your alma mater, Michigan State. I'm sure you've been thinking about this matchup for a while. Talk to me a little bit about your feelings with all of it.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a super competitive weekend, but really the thing I'm looking forward to the most is having our home opener at the J and our home series of Big Ten play. I haven't heard enough good things about, well, I have heard enough. I've heard so many good things about the J, and I can't wait to see our fans in action and see what the atmosphere really is like there. So that's the thing I'm looking most forward to is just in general having the home atmosphere and opening weekend as well. There's nothing like it.
Because you've experienced playing at the J, but this will be so different. And now you're going to have, so many stands of support. Are you kind of like, do you feel like I have that experience coming in, but also this is totally different? Now I'm, on the first base dugout.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I heard the first base dugout's a little warmer, so I'm looking forward to that. But seriously, we have an amazing support here at Northwestern, and our community is just off the charts. So I can't wait to see all of our fans in the stands. And, we have, like I said, the support. Like, we have endless alumni and endless, like, great, great friends and family coming. So I'm really excited for it. I can't wait.
I don't know if I'm going to say that dugout's warmer. Yes. Both can be a bit cold, but when you have this new stadium now, that is going to be phenomenal. And I want to talk to you a bit about it. Last weekend, Northwestern announced kind of the plans that will be done in 2026 on their new multi-million dollar stadium. How has the excitement been around the team with this announcement?
Our team's ecstatic about it. I think the biggest thing is it's just allowing us to continue to live out our dreams, and we can't thank all of the donors and Northwestern Athletics enough for it. And I think it's awesome. We have a lot of construction going on right now with our football stadium as well, and so seeing that's like, oh, I hope we're next. And so the announcement coming out, it's just meant the world to us, and we appreciate it beyond measure.
Have there been kind of any like plans that you guys have been showed as a team?
We have not seen any direct plans, but we've seen some pictures here and there. It's like, oh, I think we're getting this. I think it's going to look like this. So there's definitely been a lot of excitement around our team about what we're going to get. And Kate and Carol have dropped a few hints here and there. So definitely just super exciting for us in general. And we're looking forward to it.
I tell you, when I think of like who could kind of embody like Taylor Swift, it's definitely Kate Johan, where she's like a mastermind. And I feel like she's just gonna like drop those subtle like what's to come just in the next like year and a half about kind of what this stadium's gonna be. And I feel like everyone's gonna be hanging on to every clue.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to come back to Michigan State a little bit because you obviously played 3 years there. How are your relationships still with the players, with the coaching staff? It seems from the outside, again, that you are still very close to the players. Have you talked to them about this upcoming weekend?
I actually saw some of the players last week in South Carolina, so it was good to see them there. And I think it's just excitement all the way around. I'm still good friends with several of them, and so it'll just be a good competitive weekend. And if when it comes on the field, like maybe we won't be friends, but we'll still be friends, after the game. And it's just going to be a cool weekend, and it'll be great to see some of the families that I played with for 3 years. And overall, just an exciting weekend.
When you ultimately made the decision to leave there, enter the portal, and choose Northwestern, why Northwestern?
I think the biggest thing is overall, it just really aligned with my goals. So when I was transferring, I wrote down a list of everything I was looking for in a program. And a lot of that came down to the education I'd be getting and then the experience that I'd be having on and off the field. And really, I think Northwestern hit both of those right on the head. And so I was like, this is where I want to be. This is where I think that I'm really going to fit in and really going to reach my potential. And that's ultimately what it came down to. I was really looking for a place that I could, refine my love for the game. And I think that that's definitely fulfilled here at Northwestern, and I'm not getting too shabby of an education along the way. So I'm really happy with my choice, and I can't thank the coaching staff and the community and my teammates enough for it.
Now going into your last Big Ten play, what are kind of the goals, hopes? You talk about experience, the experience that you want to have with this team the next few months.
I think definitely a huge goal that we've all circled is we want to win the Big Ten. And that's something I think we're very capable of doing, especially with this team. I think this team is super special, and we have that energy, we have the excitement, and we play with that passion. So I think that it's all capable. We just have to believe it and go and execute. So it's going to be the most fun part of the year, knowing that, hey, we have history with all these teams and we have the target on our back. So we have to come ready and we have to come prepared. But at the end of the day, let's just see what we can do.
I love that. Lastly, heading into this weekend, what is something that everyone in the conference should know about you as a pitcher and then your team behind you?
That's a good one. I think something that everyone should know about me as a pitcher is that I'm just going to go right at you, and I'm going to give you my best. And if you beat me, hats off to you, but I'm going to give you my all. And something about our team is I think I could say the exact same thing. Like, we're going to give you our all every game. We're going to play gritty. We're going to be determined. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to beat us because we're going to give it our all no matter the game, no matter the circumstance. And that's just Northwestern softball in general. So we're going to play true to ourselves, and you got to come get us.
So well said. Well, Ashley Miller from Northwestern, Big Ten Pitcher of the Week for the second time, will face off in Evanston, her first time in purple against Michigan State. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.